beautiful city of no kings, or as those who know it and are intimately familiar with it, the city of many kings. You, through various methods, have been contacted through a friend of a friend of a friend to take on a assignment that is, well, it can't be brought to the powers that be's attention. However, those of you who are native to the city, which probably most of you are, know that if you're being authorized to carry weapons, even though you should do your best to conceal them, that means that something is up and something is major. For those of you that are seeking power and fame and to move up in the social stratum, there's a good chance this is your ticket. To the rest of you seeking fortune and fame, you won't find fortune, or you won't find fame, but there's definitely going to be plenty of fortune. And you are given a dress, a single place to go. But as you do, you notice the guards in the area, the footmen of the Lord's Alliance, have closed off the borough. Not something that happens often. Occasionally the town will go into a lockdown so no one can come in or out, no travel if there's a credible threat that has popped up, important or divine. But to close down a single borough, something is definitely afoot. So, as you approach this house, why don't we start with some descriptions? Carmine, what does your character look like?
All right, let me open up his sheet real quick. Carmine, otherwise known as Inspector Carmine, first name unknown.
First name Inspector?
Appears to be a first name Inspector, a half-elf gentleman, aged maybe mid to late 30s, standing about an average height of 5'8". For weight, I just put who cares? It's one shot. He's got blue eyes, fair skin, brown hair, maybe more close to auburn in some light. He's got a bit of unkempt facial scruff going on. A very well-loved, very long, dark trench coat, which seemed to have very big pockets, since he just seems to take whatever he needs from out of them. And a very ratty-looking scarf that maybe has some sentimental value. More often than not, if he doesn't have a drink in his hand, which he procured from whatever means he has on hand, he's probably smoking a cigar. He carries I guess an unassuming cane with him, and yeah, I think that's all you would see.
Okay. And Jacob, what does Archibald look like?
Archibald is a tall, slender man. He has olive skin, dark hair, some facial hair, but it's neatly trimmed. He's wearing this dark red kind of coat, like a waistcoat that goes along with his very proper attire. And he's got this cane he walks with that's more for style than utility. Or is it? And he is having a smoke as he's heading up.
As you both head along this path, you meet up and see a third coming up. Virgil, what does your character look like?
Virgil is decked out in armor, leaving very little, if any, skin exposed. He has ever at his side his trusty shotgun. And he also carries with him on his back his kit, which has plenty of traveling supplies. There's a maul strapped to the side of it, as well as an axe on the other side, ready to break down anything in his way. He looks, or rather, he walks with a tired gait, but he's always ready, always active. And it's hard to see what he looks like underneath. But you can spot some hazel eyes peeking through the visor here and there.
Gotcha. As you walk up, you begin seeing a third, rather curious for what you're tasked for, person. And then a fourth, Tina. What does Miss Redshirt look like?
Miss Redshirt, definitely not an ominous name. Well, her shirt is purple. No, she's probably like 5, 8, 9, something like that. Blonde hair pulled into something of a ponytail. Do I just want to steal a jacket as well? Red shirt, lace-up boots, and they don't seem to have like. No, they have a rapier with them. If they have a rapier, it's probably hidden behind like a bit of a coat, but probably poking out the bottom. She seems probably newer to this kind of line of work because, as opposed to everyone who seems like grim and grizzled kind of thing, she's a bit kind of pep in her step kind of thing. A bit happy, weirdly enough. Also, she just looks kind of young, probably like 20, 21, something like that. Maybe a bit younger. She also has a notebook that she's usually flipping through and scribbling something down. If you pay enough attention, you'll notice when she flips through, it's a combination of both notes as well as little doodles of various little things. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Absolutely. And Lucian, not character name down here.
Mr.
What
Lucian.
does Eowyn look like? Is this a meme? I'm gonna veto this if it's a meme.
What
It's
is it?
not a meme.
How do you spell it?
He's pun checking it.
You're pun checking me right now? Here, go ahead.
You're getting audited.
Check.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
The pun on it.
You know, Neo. Why?
Here, type it out real quick. I can
Hey,
take
well.
a quick-
Wait, Jordan's not playing a character with an IAN at the end?
Why are you
I'm
right,
not.
Cassian, Lucian?
Harmony
Florian.
didn't.
Florian?
Harmony didn't. Okay, if, in fairness, Florian and Cassian were related, so...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
the whole point of. That was.
But
Okay,
Lucian.
I don't see anything. If it is,
Not Harmony.
then you know what? Go for yourself. But
If there is, don't eat shit.
Your South Park, and then the
If it
TV
is-
producers.
If it is, Jordan, tell no one. Just send me a message later, like when we're
Copy.
done.
Gotcha.
so what is
The trauma
Eowyn?
from
like?
Yensid hasn't healed. Sorry.
Eowyn walks up and he is a average-sized tabaxi, very golden fur, long blue and golden robes, and he's holding a quarterstaff that is a bit taller than him, with what looks to be a similar colored little animal on top of the staff.
So for all of you, this right here, this area called the perimeter, that is where the burrows of Andora take place. Everything outside is like open carry. Any weapons are permitted. But inside the perimeter, it's not. Violence is not a common thing that would ever be necessary.
Okay.
So, like the reverse of real world, where the big cities are actually less violent.
And we're in the perimeter currently.
You put the sauce on the nuggets and then air fry them?
No.
Nuggets?
Fry the nuggets. Heat this up in the microwave, then pour it on there. Well, like a minute, man. It doesn't matter.
Sorry, the
Nugget-
world has to be a father for 10
Important nuggy advice.
seconds. No, you silly
He's
child.
making orange chicken and yakisoba noodles. I give him a little bit of it.
I mean, good on
Oh,
him.
if it's like the Costco orange chicken, that's actually pretty good.
It's
It
really,
is really
it was
good.
really good, yeah. So you all arrive and notice a decent amount of people here. For those of you that have done this work in the past, it's a little peculiar to have this many people. Like maybe a team of 3 is common. However, after a few minutes, I think any one of you would know whose house you're going to as you make your way up to it. As it is one of several, but probably only the doctress in this borough of Andora. You know her as Lucille. She's a rather shut-in who does not get out much, but does a lot of good for the community with healing. She sees you approaching, you see the windows pull back as the front door opens, and a very tidy and well put together woman in a black dress and white shirt comes out, hair pinned up, looking like she's ready for work. She sees you all approaching, and she looks around, looks at your weapons. I see. So you are the ones who are contacted.
At this point, the inspector will stride forward, holding his hand out. He goes, "That's right, Inspector Carmine, at your service. Pleasure to meet you."
Understood.
She
What
doesn't
can
take his
I
hand.
do No, she does not. She actually looks at it like a little roll an insight.
Disgusted by your peasantry.
Absolutely, I will roll an insight.
Holy Christ!
Like a little bit of
Okay.
disdain. Like
He's an inquisitor, right?
Yeah.
hands.
he will look at his hand and then like wipe it on his coat and put it in his pocket.
Oof.
Archibald will walk up. He'll just nod. How do you do, madam?
What can I do to assist this investigation?
Well, I suppose first we can maybe head inside, get out of the cold.
Please. Sorry, where are my manners? She opens the door and walks in, and you see she just points, please, leave your coats over there, unless you need them for your work.
He just kind of like gives a few nods as he's like looking around the place. He doesn't even bother taking his coat off. It does not even cross his mind.
It's part of his skin.
Sure. Roll a investigation.
Oops.
You said you were looking around?
Oh, yes.
The active player gets the worm. Oh, we got one.
What do you have for the +2 for? Don't laugh menacingly.
You could highlight the 2 and see the name of it, which might be
Deductive intuition.
assist
Probably
you
Dragon
in,
Mark or
in
some
that
shit.
regard.
As you start walking around, you notice this is a fairly affluent establishment. So.
You act. There it is.
But you notice something strange in that there is, as Tina sits down, a small bit of dust kicks up, as if this hasn't been used in a long time.
His eyes flicker to it for a second. Gotcha. And with his hands in his pockets, he's still looking around. He says, "Do you have gush over often, Miss?"
Lucy. You may call me Lucy. Doctress Lucy.
Oh, what was that?
Doctress.
Doctress. I like
Which is
that.
Female
Doctoress.
version of it. Doctor. It's actually the feminine pronunciation of it.
Oh, shit.
Not used common, because it was from the Latin root.
Right.
It's probably like an older terminology that's mildly died out.
Right up there with Nightass.
So, do you have guests over here often? Question
Only
you already
one.
know the answer to. Only one.
But that is why you are here.
Ah, I understand.
I do not know what you know, so I will start from the beginning.
Of course. Best place to start. Can I have a seat, please?
Please sit. Do you need something to drink? Something small to eat, perhaps?
Well, I'll take a drink if you have it. Do you mind if I have a smoke?
No. Please, do whatever you need. She exits the room, and for a minute you have it to yourself.
Carmine
yeah.
will fish out. Ooh,
We have a clues board.
I'm assuming this is for us to write stuff in.
absolutely.
You write whatever
Alright.
you think is appropriate.
I'm editing it right now.
Virgil is a dumbass that's like a grunt. He's ain't, I ain't writing shit in this.
What you on about, mate? Is it time for the crumpin'?
Okay, everyone's sitting on one side.
Oh man, that's so tempting to do an orc accent. But no, yeah, for some more meme shit.
Are there? I'm assuming there's like lights in the room, right?
There is.
Right.
You see that there are several lights in the room, but they don't seem to emit any heat. Even though they are quite thoroughly burning candles.
Does it look like there's like a lot of wax in the candles? Like there's
None
a
at
lot
all.
of candles in. Okay, so it's more like a mystical effect, probably. Good
Roll me an
insight. God
Arcana.
bless. I can attempt such. Shit. 12.
Easily continual flame.
Okay.
Which, given the fact that it takes ground rubies to do, lets you know that the Doctress is doing quite well for herself. Most people have the choice of light or sweating.
Light or rough.
After a few minutes, though, she comes back in with a small platter of not hors d'oeuvres, but what's it, like ginger snaps, as well as a pot of coffee and tea.
Oh, tea, right. Thank you. I don't... He'll lean over this way first. Notice that it's Eowyn sitting next to him. Then he cuts a sentence in half and just kind of like gives a small, like, forced smile and a nod. And he'll then lean over this way and say, do you have a tinderbox on you? I seem to have misplaced mine.
Oh, here. Oh, you roll this.
I mean, you have so many pockets. How do you misplace a tinderbox?
Don't remember which pocket I put it in.
You see her look around. Do you not know each other?
Oh, I've never. met her
Well.
life.
I know this one here. For better or worse. Kind of elbows Eowyn.
I have not had the pleasure.
I'm sure they all know me though, right?
Virgil shakes his head.
Totally.
How many cases have you taken, Carmine, since we've seen each other?
Oh, you know how it is. Hard to keep track of them all. Must
So
be in.
they all went cold.
Say again?
So they all went cold.
Oh, I never leave a trail cold. Not if I can help it. If I had to guess, though, I'd guess maybe 2 to 3 seasons worth of investigations.
What is this count of the seasons? I've never heard this much time before.
No, he's talking about a season, summer and winter.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it means. That many seasons.
Downside is we have winter or not winter.
Yeah,
We're
that's
in the City
what
of
I
Light,
meant.
right? We're in a City of Light.
Oh,
So
actually,
we actually have seasons in here, right?
Not particularly, no.
Oh, okay.
It's relatively temperate controlled.
We live in a bubble.
So
Almost
2
like
years.
a perpetual spring.
Oh, that's lovely.
Air's too
Sucks if
clean
you
in
have
here.
allergies.
Air is
God.
too clean in here.
Eh.
Gross.
You realize we have no seasons in Andora, right?
But it does not mean time has not passed.
Very true.
Right. Doesn't mean time hasn't passed. Eowyn?
Where should we begin? What is pertinent to your investigation?
Well, first things first. Could you describe in your own words the person that may be missing you'd like us to find?
Yes, of course. His name is Jaiven. And he used to be a soldier before turning war criminal.
Could I get a spelling on that name, doctors? Javen.
And you said-
Around about
Hmm?
a half a year ago or so now, he was brought here to me under strict supervision, and he would be, in fact, contained as a sort of penance. However, it was discovered on the field of battle that he has a rather rare genetic abnormality. Something that the Lord's Alliance thought might be useful for combating the forces of the dark. Perhaps she just looks down before looking back up at you. Perhaps even a cure.
A cure to the darkness? I'd like to see something like that. What did you call it? A genetic
Abnormality.
I never got the chance to fully isolate it.
Insight check.
Absolutely, roll it.
Can I also?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Can I check mostly to see if she actually believes this kind of stuff, or if it was more like she was just trying to keep a reason for him to be alive?
Leave it to the inspector.
Blop.
You definitely can see
Hell yeah.
like a sort of like soft pain on her face as she says she never fully inspected it or classified it. Very cool. All right, clap.
They're very cool. Very cool, Gabriel. Nice tweet.
Like you can tell the thought of never getting the chance to definitely weighs on her. Tina, with a nat 20, you could even see there's a slight bit of anger there.
Just go to eating one of the snacks. Just watch it.
Long ago, there was a legend of what was called a phoenix, a creature that would rebirth after death. That is what I sought to call it, if it was ever fully isolated. However, that is where you come in.
What was your relationship with this Javen like? Were you on friendly terms?
I had thought so for a while, but I suppose that was all part of his ruse to escape.
You thought he's missing... You think he's missing of his own volition?
He must have had help. She points over to the door. I had magical wards set up over there, and they do not go off. Though the front door is what I likely suspect the insurance was from, as nothing else was out of place.
Where'd you say the warp was?
Right
North.
here.
Where
Where our
Virgil is just
friendly
like
statue is
keeping...
standing.
I look around the doorway. I'm not trained in magic. I don't know what I'm looking for.
Oh, would you look there? And presumably there was no signs of what? Oh, what's the term that Garth is thinking of? Not foul play.
Forcible injury?
Yeah. Yes. Forcible entry.
I am not trained for such things. As such, I do not know.
Archibald will start to look around the doorway to see if he can see any sign of the wards or if they were disturbed in some way.
As Archibald comes over, I offer him a snack.
No, thank you. I've already eaten.
I put away the snack.
Roll me either investigation or arcana.
Well, that's a natural one.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, I stole it with
Yeah,
insight.
Stopped that nat 20 earlier too.
If there was magic here, it's not anymore. That much you're sure of. As to how or why, I mean, the logical implication is that someone dispelled it. But if there was another way, it's slipping your mind.
Could we get a description of what he looked like?
Yes, of course. He was 6'1", approximately at the last weigh 183 pounds. A pale skin that was a product of his genomic abnormality, as well as ashen grey hair.
And any type of scarring from war or any other identifiable marks?
Upon his capture, he took several wounds, most to the legs, but one to the lower abdomen. A rather wicked scar that went through the back as well. That being said, as I said, he was here for almost half a year. There was a tracker implanted in his left hand, but it's since gone in there. I suspect
tracker?
Yes, a divination of sorts.
Yeah,
In
magic
case,
in nature as well.
Precisely, in case such an event ever occurred.
Being a divination wizard, would Archibald maybe know anything about these trackers?
That's a good question.
Absolutely, no roll required. What she's describing is a scrying shard. So it is similar to a scry that within close proximity works like a locate object instead.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming Archie doesn't share that with anyone. At least not immediately.
He kind of is in thought.
You said he was here for half a year. Would you like to tell us what his day-to-day seemed like?
Well, besides the experimentation that was do. As macabre as it may sound, I'm sure his existence was not a pleasant one, but that is the price of penance, I suppose. But through it all, he kept an optimistic outlook that perhaps he might make the difference in the world.
So, he seemed agreeable to what was going on.
Yes, of course. I thought we were on the same page as far as what needed to happen.
What needed to happen?
We would run experiments until we could isolate exactly what happened, why he was so different.
Would you consider these tests intrusive or perhaps a bit painful for Mr. Javen?
She just looks down and slides her hands across the table and off it. They were quite painful.
Do you suppose that it was his genetic abnormalities that shorted the tracker, or do you believe it was tampered with and removed from him?
I must believe the fact that it was active every day until this very morning. There must have been some tampering. As long as it is bound to the person and the life force, it should work. She looks over to her clock. Shortly, I would have a constable that would come by and give you additional information. However, if there's anything else I can assist you with, please. As far as the house, you are free to look around. There are definitely several things of note that you might see. I can point them out for you. Or I can give you the door. Whatever assists you.
Well, so long as we have free reign of your house, I suppose we'd be shooting ourselves in the foot, so to speak, if we didn't take a look around. Could you maybe direct us to where he slept every night? His room, if you had one.
Yes, of course. Please follow me. She heads through this door and then through this one. As you enter, you see a large fireplace with several seats and a empty pot. As you get here, though, you see there are bars in front of this door that has a prison slit for it, so it can be opened. And that they've been broken.
By what means?
Oh Lord! Oh man, how would we determine that? Maybe some sort of check.
Some sort of investigation of some
Can I
Yeah.
assist him with that?
Investigate the bars.
Could I assist him with that investigations?
You certainly can.
Do they protrude from where she's standing in? Do they protrude outward or inward where they're
Jesus.
broken?
That is not.
They appear to be so 16. You can roll a perception
too
or
late?
arcana.
Copy. Okay.
I give him Bardic.
You give me what?
Bardic.
Oh, okay.
So D8, right?
What?
Yes,
Okay.
right now it is.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
23.
23. Okay. They don't appear to be going anyway, but they're folded down.
Mm.
And at the ends, not only can you see ash marks on the ground from where it's been charred, but you see the melted bits of metal that are in the cracks of the floor, as though this has been burned down. Whoever came in here did not break this metal; they burnt it off.
They melted it. They thermal drilled it.
Is it still like have any like radiant heat to it?
As you go to feel, it does not.
Does magical heat tend to like dissipate like extremely quickly or almost instantaneously? Or is it like similar heat where it's like a very hot metal object will stay hot for a pretty long time?
It depends on the spell.
Depends on the spell. Okay. Just kind of squat down looking at this like, Molten metal.
If you want, you can roll an Arcana as well.
I'll attempt one of those because I'm curious.
I have no. Okay, there you go.
It appears to. The melting point is like this,
Oh, a circle.
and everything comes off of it. So you are fairly confident it wasn't like heat metalled and broken down that way. More so as there was an intense heat in the middle, given the burn marks on the ground and door.
So more like a blowtorch.
Correct.
Hmm.
Like someone just pushed fire up against it and held it there until it started to melt.
She flips to the page with drawings of candles and then draws one of the candle like flames going like very high and very powerful.
Hmm.
And then also writes next to it like that information. That's actually useful.
Seeing Tina start to write stuff down, Carmine will just kind of like lean over to try and see what she's writing, and then like cigar still in hand, it'll kind of ask, "What sort of magic do you think could do something like this?"
I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. It seems to be extremely precise, so whoever was doing this was doing it with very solid knowledge on what they were doing.
And you're sure it was magic that did this?
Or extremely complicated mechanical object, but shrugs. I'm not the one for mechanics.
Carmine kind of stands up straight, scratching his head, and he says, "Well, I suppose you know better than me when it comes to the sort of arcane nature of things. I'm a bit of a dunderhead. It's all a mystery to me, not one I can solve."
How many?
Let me just turn around.
And Archibald have started to ritual cast detect magic to see if he gets anything from anything nearby,
I like how we were going.
even if
Absolutely.
it's just a trace of what it was, if it was magic.
Yeah, you have the time. She enters the room, though, and sort of just points around. It was a fairly simple but large enough room. Some supplies in case I was not able to make it for the day, as well as change of clothes and way to bathe himself, as well as a bed. Nothing extravagant, but I suppose enough for a prisoner. Treasoner, if you will.
And I'm assuming. When did you have these bars built up? After he moved in?
When I knew they were going to be providing me with a prisoner.
I don't think she's lying, but can I just insight that real quick? I don't know why. Yeah.
What, you think she had like a sex dungeon before that?
I think she might have just had, like, she might just have people coming over and experimenting on him for some reason. I don't know. I don't know who we're dealing with.
Well, she was
Well,
very disgruntled
okay, I
about
believe her.
not getting her science done.
I believe her. Fuck it.
Appeared to have been melted.
Yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable, I guess, to makeshift a sort of prison cell. Put it near the intended location so you're not having the doctor travel to and from a prison. If there is anything else besides that, there is my lab, but I'm not sure what you can find in there, and if you do go in, please do not mess with any of the chemicals.
I wouldn't think of it. Of course not. I know chemicals even less less than I know about magic.
Alright,
As he
what
like
do you actually know about then?
as he's like stepping through the door, he says, "You should get someone to clean this mess up." To be honest, and what was that you said, Tina?
She asked, like, what do you know about? Because you seem to know a lot about nothing.
What do I know about chemicals? Well, I don't know. I know you want to know which one you're drinking before you drink it.
Fair enough. Also,
Yeah, as you look around the room, you see it's definitely wasn't initially made as a room, considering the elongated nature of it would be rather peculiar. However, like she described it, it's quite sparse.
These windows here.
Yes, correct. Though they are barred as well.
As he's like smoking a cigar and like pacing along this western wall, he's looks around for any signs of like I guess what's the word? Tampering with the window bars.
You look up, actually, you don't need to roll. You notice that on the window, there's a small little white writing on the dust on the outside.
What's it say?
Send
See you
nudes.
soon.
See you soon.
Correct.
It's written on the outside. You said.
Correct. And just judging by the size of it, roll me an investigation.
Oops. 19.
It looks to be a very small hand that has made this.
Is it written low on the window?
Correct.
About how high off the ground is the window?
The window's fairly high, so probably about eye level for you, and it's scrawled in the very bottom of it.
Okay.
With a 19, you can kind of tell like the person was not reaching up, but they were definitely above their natural comfort zone, indicating they're probably on the smaller side.
All right, let me note all this down. He will point this out. Maybe read aloud as he's like writing it down in his notebook. It says, "Writing on the outside of the window, semicolon, small hand had to reach above their head.
Lucille comes up. I did not even see that.
See you soon." Where you looking?
Say the word semicolon.
No,
Sorry.
I know my place. If you need anything, I will be in the lab.
Of course. Be with you shortly. Well, you see, Miss... Oh, I didn't get your name, did I?
Tina.
As she walks past us from leaving that place, can I insight check her to see if she looks nervous at all?
No insight check needed. She definitely does.
Okay.
Carmine will like put his pencil between his teeth so he can so he has a free hand to hold out to Tina as he says, "Inspector Carmine, pleasure to meet you."
She shakes his hand, laughing at the silly voice now. You actually put a pencil in your mouth? I just realized.
No, it's my finger.
Okay.
As Tina like reaches out to shake his, he's wait. He checks his hand and then wipes it on his left hand now. Checks his hand, wipes it on his coat, and then he'll shake her head.
Oh, it's very polite of you.
Can never be too hold on. Can never be too careful.
You know, if you put it behind your ear, it's probably a bit easier.
He reaches up. He'll like put his hair behind his pointed ears, and then stick the pencil there. That just feels wrong, to be honest with you. He'll put the notebook closed. Put the pencil away. Into his pocket it goes.
Who's?
No, go on, go on.
What the fuck is that?
The constable, I'm assuming.
It's the
Uh,
constable. His cousin Virgil. Because they look
His
like
name's
the
Keith.
same picture. Keith.
As you
Keith
sit
Virgil.
there, Virgil, at the door, you hear a knocking and an opening door. Miss Lucille. She looks over at you, or he looks over at you and, like, tenses up like he's ready for a scuffle.
I take a step off to the side and just gesture through the door, like, that way. Like, throw a thumb. There.
He walks over with his rifle in hand. Who might you be?
I just stare at him as he goes in. Virgil. And you're the constable.
What's your business here?
Business is my business. You can talk to Miss Lucille through that door there. I point through the doorway at the lab door.
He looks down at your weapon. You authorized to be carrying that?
I am now. You want
see
me
him
to
sort
escort
of
you there?
like get in a position that you as a gunslinger know is ready to fire if need be. Why don't you produce that?
We weren't given papers yet, have we?
You were, yeah.
Oh, we were. Okay.
Sort of like a writ.
Oh, okay. I pull out the writ, and I also add it to my inventory.
You see as he reads it and sees the stamped seal at the bottom, like his shoulder sag. Apologies. Little nudge after everything.
All right. Miss Lucille's through there. If you want to continue a conversation.
Roger. I'm sure I'll be with you shortly.
Nod. Stand back in the doorway. Also, I've named my writ in my inventory as my Second Amendment.
I hate you.
Don't hate on one thing you know is great. That's my guy.
Hate America, Jordan.
Get
You
out
guys
of
in
here.
California. Yeah.
So funny.
So, what do y'all do?
I think he's doing a ritual thing over here, isn't he?
I stand in the doorway.
I would like to investigate the furnace, just because I'm like checking out the whole house one at a time. We saw a fire thing. I'm wondering if there's like a fire contraption or something hidden in the furnace that helped him escape. Right? That's a furnace right here? Or no?
No, that's a window.
Ah, shit. I check out the window.
This-
Never mind.
This is the furnace. It appears to be untamed.
Okay. Then I will go check his bed.
Actually, you could see where it was cleared of dust. Just a little bit, like someone could look through it.
Here?
Correct. Roll me a insight.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay. Given by the fact that it's here, like coming from here, you
Mhm.
guarantee it was someone that was scoping out what this looked like, as they wouldn't even have sight of this door over here, really.
Right. Got in mind.
You hear a few like footsteps before he pokes his head through the door frame doorway.
Someone definitely helped him escape.
No.
To the dust right here.
You don't say.
Mm-hmm.
Archibald has an open spellbook in one hand and his cane in the other, and the cane's glowing slightly while he says stuff under his breath.
Carmine just kind of gives like a squinty glance towards the magic user. But why do you say that? What have you found here?
The dust from outside. It's someone wiped it off. They'd have a they'd have a pretty good sight of what's in this room over here. Why would they be looking inside this house? Right here.
So they might have seen the bars.
Mm-hmm.
Good find.
Troubling thing is, who would want to break him out? Treason, right?
Roll me a nature check.
Sure.
Either one of you, or one of you with advantage, or both of you individually. Your choice.
You guys got to keep the rivalry going.
Who's the better detective?
You never
Yeah.
help each other.
Let's just both do one.
Fuck you.
Eh?
Oh, fuck
You are
you
the better one.
indeed.
You found your
Now
lead.
that you've been looking at it, you
Here's the
notice
cat.
as you look through the window, the ground is significantly less healthy in this area versus the rest of it was very well flourishing. But this one there's dead patches and dirt patches, like it hasn't been kept well.
This the one that's right outside the window, yeah? I'm assuming.
Correct.
It's weird. Going by my knowledge of the darkness, is that a common trope with how like darkness moves through nature? Oh no.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
It destroys it.
Right. So, but that would mean. Wait. So this area just isn't kept. Is there no like trail or footsteps following it?
From that area, you wouldn't be able to tell. You'd have to go outside and see.
I'm gonna go take a look, then, as I just move past Carmine with a smug look on my face.
Need to use the loo.
A smug look on your tabaxi face.
But just
Oh,
tobacco
God.
face.
Sounds familiar.
No! No!